Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com. It's the place where you can find the latest Branson show schedules and attraction information. So be sure to go to iBranson.com. Now our guest today is a group called Spoken For. They're a gospel quartet who perform out at Silver Dollar City and around the country. It's their first time on the show. Now, I love the fall in Branson, and if you are home and you haven't started planning your fall visit to Branson, now's the time to plan your Branson visit. Come on to Branson. Folks, we'll be back in just a second with Spoken For.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show, for the very first time, I have Spoken For. Welcome guys to the show. It's good to have you guys here. Now, maybe some people are saying, I'm not sure what Spoken For is or about. We're going to just say real quickly, y'all are out at Silver Dollar City. And we're going to talk more about Spoken For and what you could expect from them out at Silver Dollar City. But let's talk about history. And so Brian and Cecil, kind of tell us, how did you get into this business?
I started at 17 years old with the Blackwood Brothers Quartet back in 1987, and I replaced Ken Turner. And I was there for about 4 years, and we traveled worldwide at that time. And then I got off the road, moved to Eureka Springs and formed a little quartet down there. And we were there about 5 or 6 years. Of course, then I moved up here with the Brashlers, and our lead singer, my partner and I, John Charles Taggart, who we'll meet later, we decided we were with a different group out at Silver Dollar City, and that group kind of disbanded, and so we kind of formed this group from that way back in 2006.
Yeah, and so this is, so your life, when you say quartets, is it Southern Gospel?
Gospel Quartet, okay. Yes, sir.
So for really most of your life, you've been Southern Gospel Quartet.
Pretty much. That's
and
right.
what role do you play in the group?
I sing bass.
You sing bass. Now, folks, I think you could have figured that out, but it's good. It's like he's this great bass. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I ended up in Branson a number of years ago working at Walmart, of all places. And while working at the toy department, I had a guy by the name of Gary Wilkinson show up, and he'd heard that I played piano. Asked me if I wanted a job, and I looked at those toys and I thought, yeah, I'm done with this. And so anyway, I went to work with the Wilkinson brothers, from there to the Roy Clark Celebrity Theater, and from there to Silver Dollar City. And so it's been an interesting ride.
Yeah, and so how long have you been at Silver Dollar City then?
Well, started there in 1990 at Silver Dollar City and sang through the end of 2001 with a group called Chosen View.
Okay.
And then I went into full-time ministry. Was actually on the road doing evangelism. And then when COVID hit and everything shut down, these guys called me and said Silver Dollar City was going to reopen, and they wanted to know if I wanted a job. And I looked at my wife, who I hadn't seen much in the last 20 years because of being on the road, and she looked at me and said, please get out of here. So I ended up going to work with these guys. And it's been a great ride ever since.
Yeah. So when we go way back and you say Chosen Few, and you were there, I think 11 years, was that Southern Gospel as well?
Chosen Few did a little bit of everything. We were a gospel group for sure, but we were in the Echo Hollow Amphitheater, so we did a variety show down there. So you could hear us doing everything from the cowboy stuff to the Backstreet Boys. So it was a little bit of everything.
Okay, the Backstreet. Cowboy to Backstreet?
Yeah, yes. It was quite a show. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So you are one of the newest members of the group.
I am the newest member of this quartet. Yes, that is for sure.
Yeah. Do they give you a hard time about that, or?
I'm the oldest guy in the group, so yeah, they give me a little bit of.
So you guys have a new CD. I guess it's new, right?
It is new.
Spoken for, and it's called Big Tent Revival. So tell me a little bit about this.
This is giving a quartet voice to today's worship music. And so it's got a lot of the stuff that you might hear in your local churches nowadays, things like I Speak Jesus, Rattle. There's a lot of great music on this CD. And we just basically took that music and thought, a quartet needs to give a voice to this kind of stuff. So it's a really neat, unique sound.
And you play baritone, or sing baritone?
I sing baritone, play a little bit of piano. Yeah, I have been playing the piano since I was 6. I got an automobile accident back in 1994 and paralyzed my left arm. Okay. So I do everything with one hand.
One hand.
Yeah.
I think back to Def Leppard.
Yep.
And their drummer he plays drums with one arm.
That's right.
So I
tried to get him to start a group with me, but he wouldn't.
But I think it's a great testimony that God can still use you.
Oh, absolutely.
In the midst of tragedy.
And our weakness, He's made strong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Cecil, it says here that you are one of the executive producers.
That's right, me and my partner.
And so what does that mean?
Well, first of all, it means we've footed the bill. No, we kind of all had a hand in it. We really did. It wasn't just John and I. We all kind of had a hand in making this thing come out. And Brian forgot to mention one of the songs on there. Our first release is a song he wrote.
Wow.
Let Go, Let God. Our tenor, Brandon Britton and Brian, are great songwriters. And so we do quite a bit of original tunes from their repertoire.
Now, is this the first album that you guys have had, or have you had other ones?
We've had going on probably, I think I counted 25 or 26
Holy
that
cow.
we've done.
That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. And so how long does it take to put an album together?
This one took a little over a year from the time of inception to the time it was released, and it's only been out about a month.
Okay.
Some of them we have. It depends. We've done some within 6 months.
Okay.
It just depends. Ideally, you want to do 6 months, but you change things here and there, and something comes up.
So when you release an album, like there's this, and I think there's different genres, of different types of music. And so Southern Gospel is its own unique genre, and it has its own followers. How do people find out about it?
Well, you can go to our website, spokenforquartet.com, and that's how you find out about us, our travel, our schedules, everything that we do. We do travel in the off season. As far as the general Southern Gospel groups all over the nation, the Singing News magazine handles a lot of that. That's a good place to go to.
Our music is available on all the streaming platforms.
It is.
You can go to Apple Music, Spotify, any of those places.
Wow. Wow. I think, to me, this is a great example of, you guys are entertainers in Branson, but man, you're doing a lot of stuff, a lot of things. So
absolutely.
That is really great. I tell you what, I think this is a great place for us to stop, and we're going to come back with the next 2 members of Spoken For. So hang tight and we'll be right back. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 4 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com. Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson. On the second half of this show, we have the other members of Spoken For. I've got John Charles Taggart.
Yes, sir.
And then I have Brandon Britton.
Yes.
No relation to Dan.
No.
So welcome to the show. So
Thank you.
so you guys are the other half of this quartet.
Yes.
And so, John, tell us about yourself and your background in the music business.
Man, my background in the music business, been doing this, singing with Cecil and the guys. Brian, as he said, has been with us the last 4 years, but it's been almost 20 years that we've been together. And I was brought up in church, and really, honestly, just kind of happened into quartet music when a guy asked me to join a church quartet and sing lead. And that's when I dove in and started learning everything I could about what I needed to do and prepare for. And God moved me from one stage to another, moved me up here to Branson when an opportunity came because somebody heard me singing at a church. And I got up here and started singing with the group at Silver Dollar City, met Cecil, met Brian, and when he was with another group at that time, and I was blown away with them. But anyway, God just moved every phase of this to where I am right now. And that is the truth, and that's just singing lead out of the theme park. And you have our newest release right there that we put a lot of time and effort into. And I think this one really speaks to who we are as personalities, and drives home the point that no matter what kind of music you like, and I happen to love everything we've sung, and no matter what you like, it's all about finding your niche and where God has you. And I feel like that's where He's got all of us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Brandon, tell us about your background and how you got into this business.
I grew up singing. I mean, just in church, and very similar to John, sang in church. My grandmother sang in the choir. My dad was a drummer in a country nightclub band. So I grew up with a very wide array of musical, idols and people to look up to. As a teenager, I was suicidal for a long time and went through that. Went off to college, came back home, and long story short, my mother ended up committing suicide. And, just for about a year, I just kind of ran from God, and I prayed and prayed and prayed. And I was like, God, what do I need to do? And I just felt the need to get away. And so I moved from my hometown in South Carolina, halfway across the country to New Orleans. Was there for a couple of years, ended up meeting these guys at one of their concerts, handed them a CD that had a song on it that I wrote, thinking, hey, maybe they're going to want to record the song, and hand it to John. He says, hey, by the way, do you sing? I said, yeah, well, I sing tenor. He goes, well, would you be interested in joining us? Sure. Yeah. And that was...
Well, it was more like, would you be interested in auditioning? Because as you can tell, he's a loud personality, and he was a lot to take. But when we heard the song and heard his voice, because he was just singing on a recorder, it was really raw. And we're like, man, this guy sings pretty good raw. And Cecil and I were talking about it, since we knew our tenor singer wasn't going to be with us much longer. And we were able to get him in, audition him, and then, of course, we had to whip him into shape.
Yeah.
Took a long... I'm just kidding.
A lot of beatings.
Yeah. So, but when you moved to New Orleans in that transition, and now you're going to a gospel show, Southern gospel show. Like, what was that transition like for you?
It was rough because I actually moved to New Orleans right after Katrina, about 4 months or so after Katrina, and so there was so many parallels between my life and what was happening down there at the time, because they've lost everything, I've lost everything, and you would ride through the city and you'd see so much, just devastation. And then, spiritually, you're thinking back, well, I feel like they look right now. And, so it was very different. And it was a time for me to learn to stand on my own 2 feet, and really a time for me to get rid of all the distractions and get rid of everything that was taking me one way or another, and just say, okay, God, where do you want me? What do you want? And when I finally reached that point, and I saw where God wanted me, lo and behold, this opportunity's right in front of the door. So it's an amazing thing that when you can tune out the distractions and just focus on God, He'll let you know what He wants.
Oh, I love that story. That's great.
That's right.
And so how long have you been part of the group then?
This is my 15th year, actually.
15th year. So do you, as a Southern gospel group, is this something you do full time, or do you guys also have other jobs as well, or how does that work?
Yes, sir. We definitely do this full time, and with our opportunity to be at Silver Dollar City, which we love because we have families. Except for Brandon, he's single, saved, and searching. So somebody might see him today and
the Lord may be moving you.
Hey, can I get a referral fee out of this?
But we were family oriented. Brian lives in Kimberly City. I live in Kimberly City. He does. Cecil lives and just moved to Springfield a couple of years ago. But we all care so much about being home, being present with our families. And Silver Dollar City gives us the opportunity to reach a broad audience of people coming in there. And we don't take that for granted, because that is just such an awesome thing. Absolutely. And to allow God to use us to touch somebody's heart, their mind, their soul, whatever they're needing. God knows. So we're just there, excited about that opportunity. But being there and not having to travel as much. We do travel for about 4 months out of the season, but it keeps our sanity a little bit, because on the road it's a different beast.
Yeah.
And,
so let's talk a little bit more about Silver Dollar City.
Sure.
Tell people, like, what you're in it. You're doing a show. When is it? Where is it? Let's tell people how they can find you.
The awesome thing is we've been moved into this year the Riverfront Playhouse, which is an indoor theater with heating when you need it in the winter and air in the summertime. And so it's been awesome. But it's a real intimate setting. You can get quite a few people in there. But you can find us in that theater. And Brian, Cecil, our baritone and bass, and Brandon and I, we all have different sounds. But the way our voices come together, it is really amazing to me, and it gives us a fresh sound, being honest. And it reaches a lot of people. Like Cecil, the bass singer, gets most of the attention because he is just awesome. And when you hear him talk, you heard him talk. I mean, people love it. And wait till you hear him in the Christmas. If you ever come out for Christmas and hear him sing, he sings The Grinch That Stole Christmas song, The Grinch. And he does an amazing job with that song, as he does with everything. And then you got Brandon over here grabbing the rafters and singing the high notes. Brian's story is so compelling and true, but every guy I sing with is amazingly talented with a heart for God. And Silver Dollar City has given us the opportunity and the freedom to talk about everything that God lays before us in a way that we just want everybody to know without him, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. You would not see this show at Disney.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
And we in the Branson community have to be extremely thankful for Silver Dollar City, their leadership and their ownership, that are not afraid to proclaim the good news.
You better believe that. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, Silver Dollar City, really over the years that we've been going, they've never come to us once and said, you can't say this, you can't say that. Here's your little box you have to stay within. They've never done that.
The Spirit of God lets you know what you should and shouldn't say.
Right.
So we follow that, and that's our prayer every day, and that we don't step outside what we shouldn't do and let God have his way. And the people that we work with at Silver Dollar City that you touched on, from the leadership on down, just the citizens like in our theater, everybody from the sound techs to the lady who is our usher, do an amazing job. And they have a heart. We've been put around a bunch of great people who love people and love God. And that is just amazing.
Yep.
We love going to work there.
So how many times a day are you doing your show out there?
At least 4 times a day, and we do 30-minute shows, and we pack a lot in it, and it is so much fun. We keep it fresh. We do different songs every set. And Brian, who you met, he is the maestro of picking all the songs that we do, and he goes along with the feeling of what God's moving us to do, and man, it's fresh for us, and I love watching people get impacted by something that we sometimes take for granted that we're just doing.
Yeah.
And God's speaking. So.
And here's what I tell people is, even though people are coming here on vacation, we don't know what is going on in their life. It could be everything from death of a family member to a divorce to depression, and this may be the place where they get revived. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're doing at least 4 shows a day, and in those shows you're doing different, so people can come back and see you more than once.
And we have a lot of people that actually do that. We've got I say this with all humility, but we really do have people that specifically buy season passes just to sit there for 2, 3, 4 shows. We have one lady. I won't go all into her story because it's personal. It's her story, but needless to say, she wasn't saved when she started coming to see us last year. She would come at least once or twice a week and would sit in the back, wouldn't really talk. By the end of the year, she was getting more comfortable. Her daughter reached out to us and said, hey, please pray for my mom. She's going through this, and this. And she laid out her story and said she's not saved, but, we really, really want to, try to reach out. And we just kept ministering to her. We would talk to her.
Well, we kept doing our thing.
Yeah.
And God was doing his and worked it out.
And needless to say, but when we started this year, she said, I'm going to a Women of Faith conference. And she came back and said, I've got saved. I'm ready to get baptized.
Wow.
So it's
what a joy for you guys to see how your music is positively impacting people. So folks, here's the deal. We're going to promote this. Spoken For has a brand new album out.
That's right.
It's called Big Tent Revival. Tell them the website again.
Okay, it's Spoken, the number 4, so spoken4quartet.com.
Okay, so folks, go to the website. You can check them out there, or go out to Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be there at least through the end of this year.
till the
Are
end
you
of the
planning? Do we know next year yet, or is that all?
Everything that we're understanding is we're going to be back next
Okay.
year. We don't know the exact time frame, but it's going to probably be around the same. So yeah, and you can find us on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Spoken For Quartet.
Okay, guys, there's the deal. Go check this music out.
Yeah.
It might change your life.
You bet.
We'll be back in just a minute with more Play Branson.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We've been talking to Spoken For, and you can find them here locally out at Silver Dollar City, performing 4 times a day. Be sure to check the Silver Dollar City app. They're over in the Riverfront Playhouse. I think you will be blessed with that show. Now, our show next week is going to be Shannon Thomason. And Shannon's a veteran performer in Branson, and he's moved to some new shows. And it's been a long time since he's been on the show, so we're excited to have him back. Now, if you need help planning your Branson vacation, be sure to visit ibranson.com or call them at 1-877-ENTERTAIN. You can find the latest show schedules, attractions, and lodging options on ibranson.com. There's still time to get here before the end of the fall season. Now, you can also find our Play Branson episodes on social media, on Facebook, our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Play Branson. You can also find us on thevacationchannel.com. So folks, go see some live performances this week. Support your local musician. That's it for today, and we'll see you next week on Play Branson.